Hi, I'm Jeanne Fiorini. Thanks for being here at the Tarot Tips. Today we're going to talk about a question that a subscriber had about a mechanical issue in readings that happens quite often. And that is, sometimes I'm asking a relationship question and I don't get cups. I'm not sure what to do in that situation. Sometimes I'm asking a work issue or a money issue and I get swords or wands instead of pentacles. What do I do with that? So what do we do when the nature of the question doesn't correspond with the nature of the suits that give us a response? I'm going to start my reply or my suggestions around this issue with a kind of a broad concept in the tarot, and that is to remember that tarot reflects life. The tarot system is built on how it's a cosmology about how the world works, that the world is comprised of not literally air, earth, fire, and water, but the dynamics of those four elements. Air being thoughts, ideas, concepts. Water being emotions, feelings, intuition, inner sorts of more nebulous sorts of ways of being in the world. Wands, about your creativity, your passions, your fire, your determination, how you use your will in the world. And pentacles, the concrete stuff. This chair I'm sitting in, how much money do I have in the bank, how do I use my life to create security and stability for me, what sort of condition is my physical body, and all of that is pentacle stuff. So air, earth, fire, and water. But then the notion of, in addition, there's this fifth element, the archetypal piece, the spiritual piece, the God spark, whatever you want to call that major arcana energy. That's also part of our experience, and that those five pieces are constantly at work, at play, in dynamic relationship with one another. So even though it's very nice if we're asking a relationship question to get cups, to get other elements reminds us that things aren't happening in our life in a vacuum, that they're happening in relationship to these other aspects of our life. How well is the relationship working? Is there a battle of wills going on? What are the mechanics going on there? It's not just about how do I feel about the other person, how does the other person feel about me? That might be the issue, it might not be. So I have a little kind of pat saying that I put out in readings, and that is, if a certain element doesn't come up in response to a certain question, that means that that element is not part of the problem or part of the solution. So if you ask a cup card or ask a relationship question and you don't get a cup card, the emotions, the feelings, the intangible connection is not part of the problem or part of the solution. Other things, let's say you get swords and pentacles. Swords are going to indicate that there are perceptions, thought processes, maybe belief systems around this relationship that are in motion here. Pentacles might indicate that the mechanics are kind of off. I like to wake up early, that person likes to sleep until 10 o'clock. I'm a night owl, they go to bed at 8. I like 3 squares a day, they like to nosh all day. Mechanics, pentacles, that the way that the machine of the relationship works either is jiving or not jiving. One of those things that I learned through working with people at the tarot table, as well as in my own life, is relationships pass or fail, not most times not because of the degree of love or emotional connection is there. They succeed or fail depending on whether or not the people involved had the same vision about where they're going. Do they want the same things out of the relationship? And if they do, they're more apt to try to make it work. And if they don't, I might love that person more than anything in the world, but if we don't share a thought about the same direction that we're going, it's probably not going to be successful. I digress. Let's say you've asked a work issue or a money issue, and you get not pentacles. It's, you know, and that these are the things that people really want to know. Relationship and money are probably the biggest issues at the tarot table. So you ask a money question, a work question, and you don't get pentacles. It's real nice and convenient if you do. This reminds me of the thing that we all kind of know in our consciousness, but sometimes we don't really get on a visceral level, and that is that money issues are about a whole lot of other things other than money. It's about belief systems about money. How much do I think or believe is possible for me to have? Belief systems about what money can give to a person's life. Belief systems about what we're here for. Are we here to work? Are we here to be happy? Are we here to increase our wealth? What are we here in the physical form for? So, you know, money issues, you know, in some ways they seem like the most concrete, but in some ways they're the most complex, because there's matters of will around money, and I don't mean that literally in terms of grandma left you $1 million. I mean that in terms of the amount of strength, determination, personal focus in terms of how we relate to and deal with our money. There are perceptual issues around money. Having too much money is really good. Having too much money is really bad. You know, any of those things can create a money problem for a person. Feelings around money. I feel safe when I have money. I feel nervous if I have too much money. See, all these things are very subjective. So remember, when you're asking any question, that the 5 pieces of the tarot system, the suits and the major arcana, reflect a concept about how the universe is set up and how the universe works and how the pieces kind of interweave with one another. So it's almost more likely that we ask about a specific area of our life and we get a conglomerate kind of an answer that's probably more realistic and true. So remember the point about if a certain element doesn't show up, it's not part of the problem or part of the solution. Remember that all those different pieces, those 5 different pieces, are always at play whether we're paying attention to them or not. Always, when you're doing readings, be open to your first reaction, your first hit to the question at hand. I hope that helps. Thanks for being here. Next time we'll address another subscriber question.